The MCU multiverse works in a funny way. When it comes to Spider-Man, we've seen 3 different versions of Spider-Man from 3 different universes, all played by a different actor. But then you follow Doctor Strange as he goes into the multiverse, and we see multiple different Doctor Stranges, all played by the same actor. And at the same time, you have Loki, which shows us half a dozen, if not close to a dozen different Lokis in different locations and instances, and they're all played by different actors as well. Well, now a Marvel Studios producer addresses this inconsistency in the MCU. So before we get into this, I will say that one of my big complaints about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, despite how much I love it, is the fact that we didn't get some sort of crazy variant actor of Doctor Strange. Like, how cool would it have been if one of the variants, for example, that we got to saw was in fact Bruce Campbell, or was another actor, like, I don't know, Hugh Laurie at one point was rumored to play a Doctor Strange. Like, that would have been kind of cool. Well, Marvel Studios producer Richie Palmer has an actual answer for the inconsistencies in terms of why Spider-Man is played by multiple other actors and why Doctor Strange is just played by Benedict Cumberbatch. And essentially the answer is they don't know and they don't care and they never really thought about it. For Spider-Man, the story needed the old Spider-Man to be played by those respective actors. So that's it. When it comes to Loki, they said, well, Loki, you see the chaotic nature of the character in the multiverse, so it makes sense if he's played by various different actors. But that's also a TV series. In terms of Doctor Strange, we only got a 2-hour movie. So having to explain why each Doctor Strange looks different, what they're all about, and trying to catch up people who might not have seen Loki would be a little bit too confusing. So in essence, they just decided, do what works best for simplicity's sake for each project, and we'll get to whatever we get to when we get to it, in terms of needing to explain things. And honestly, this is the answer I always kind of figured they were going to give us, and it just makes sense. Look, I would have loved to see, again, different actors playing Doctor Strange, but it makes sense why here we didn't. But the next film, we probably will. We probably will see different actors playing Doctor Strange because, again, the basics are already established and now people will be more used to it, more accustomed to it and so forth, so you can pull in all these different elements and really focus on what you want to try to do with the multiverse. And by the time we get Doctor Strange 3, we'll have like, what, 3 or 4 seasons of Loki, multiple different variants of characters all over the place. Deadpool will be in. Who knows what happens with Spider-Man? Who knows what happens with Incursions and all this? So it'll be a lot easier to explain. But as they said, it's a lot easier to do it when you have more time than when you have less. So they said, you know, you could do a variant of Captain America, and it's easier for him to be a variant because it doesn't have to be the main character. But when you get to the main character and something that involves the entire plot and they're crucial to it, well, it could get a little confusing. So it's all going to depend on the medium and how they choose to tell it in terms of the story and the complexity.